What is good, YouTube family? Welcome back to Creativity with Purpose, where we create with purpose on purpose. My name is Bilani Mdaga, and I am so glad to have you here. Now, as you can already tell by the title of this video today, I have a Dear Diary session for you. Hence, I actually didn't want to, I didn't plan to record this. But I thought, Dear Diary sessions are, videos that just flow. It's me talking to you guys heart to heart. The same way you'd write in your journal, the same way you'd write in your diary. If you keep a diary, it's that same kind of feel. So I thought, you know what, the sun's out, my face is looking cute or whatever, so why not? So yeah, guys, thank you so much for all my new subscribers. By the way, we are growing, and I'm just so grateful to each and every single one of you for actually taking the time out to watch my videos, to share, to repost, especially the love that you have shown me on my latest testimony video. You guys are like unbelievable. The love, the DMs, the messages, like, you guys are absolutely awesome, and I pray that God will bless you. I always pray for this channel, so definitely always praying that God blesses you. But I just wanted to also say it again. I know I said in my recent visual diary, but I'm just so grateful, you guys. I'm so thankful for the love that you've continued to show me, and the prayers, from strangers, people that I don't know, but you guys have been so wonderful, so nice. And you don't have to, you know what I'm saying. I always speak about how, creators actually really, really appreciate it when you guys engage. But the engagement you showed was out of this world. Even going to my YouTube studio and checking my analytics, it was just insane the way the views have gone up and all of those things. But yeah, guys, without any further ado, let's get straight into this video because the sun is beaming. But I didn't want to lose the light anyway. So I've got my phone on my lap as always, and the first thing that I wanted to speak about that's been on my mind is basically the importance of the people who surround you. The reason I wanted to touch on this is because I think recently I've seen before my eyes, and people around me, through their relationships and through my relationship with them, the importance of having purposeful friendships, purposeful connections, purposeful relationships. I think sometimes we take advantage of the fact that, people are just, or just friends with people, when in actual, or we just have connections with people, we meet people by coincidence. But I believe that each and every single encounter that we have is never a coincidence. It's always an opportunity for us to actually create meaningful connections. You don't have to be friends forever, but you always have those connections where you really just sit by yourself sometimes and you think, wow, that was really a genuine connection, that was really a genuine conversation. And I think the reason that is so important is because I feel like speaking from my own experience, when I've been in moments where I've been down and I can't really be strong for myself, when I look behind me, there are people that I know that I can count on, people who can hold my hand up in prayer, people who can help me be strong and stand when I cannot for myself, people who have just really shown out and shown off that God is really a God of mercy and grace and love, in terms of when it comes to the connections that he can send your way if you surrender that part and aspect of your life to him. Because I feel like most of the time we surrender everything else but that aspect. We surrender everything else to God, but our relationships, but our friendships. But he's calling us to actually, and he wants us to actually surrender each and every single thing. Do not hold anything back, because it's what use is it for us to just give him the one finger? He wants the whole hand, you know what I'm saying? Because he knows that he can give you that optimal best, in every single aspect of your life, whether it be your finances, whether it be your friendships, your connections, your family, your health, everything. He wants to take over those things, and he will definitely show out. And so I just think, for me, it was just such a blessing. As I said, I saw it I think in the lives of a particular person. You know me, I share online, but I don't really share too many specifics when it comes to the people that I love and care about, because I feel like I want to protect them in that way. Because I have decided to share my journey, this life's journey, on here, but that doesn't mean that they've decided to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to drop names, but I've seen it this past week, these past 2 weeks actually, in the lives of one of the people that I love. Something major was happening in their lives, and so when I just saw the people that she was surrounded by, and how in certain moments I could see that, okay, like this is actually having like a toil on her. It's overwhelming, she's getting overwhelmed, but the people who were around her were people who were praying behind the scenes. There were people who were encouraging her. So I feel like that was really mind-blowing for me. I mean, I knew that God was a God who was faithful in doing that, but I think to see it unfold before my eyes in such a hectic time in her life was so beautiful, because I feel like sometimes we have friends or connections where we can say that, okay, we are friends, but can I pray for you? We are friends, but can I be strong for you when you can't be strong for yourself? We are friends, but is there a certain purpose? Like, we can laugh and have a good time and all of that stuff, but I feel like there's a certain time when it comes to you actually having to be accountable with one another and yourself. Just being able to speak about certain things, being able to really hold each other's hand, do certain things, because I feel like sometimes when big events happen in our life, or drastic changes or traumatic experiences happen, we find that we are in a corner and nobody really understands. But I think just seeing how everything unfolded for her was such a beautiful thing, and I just saw that God was definitely in the room. And so, being a person who can admit that I absolutely have not been the best friend in the past, I think it's such a gift for me to be able to receive God's grace to, now that I know better, to actually do better. So whenever you're watching these videos, I don't want you to ever feel like, oh my word, she knows this, she knows that. I actually, like, I'm learning these things along the way, and a lot of people can probably attest to the fact that I have not been the greatest friend in the past, and so I think just also having that accountability with myself of admitting the fact that, actually you haven't been the greatest friend, but now that I know better, I can do better, because this life thing is a daily thing of learning. This life thing is a daily thing of growing. And so having that grace to be able to do so and actually see it unfold before my eyes, where I'm seeing someone that I love so much, be able to have that kind of support from people that are around her, people that are connected to her, was absolutely such a beautiful thing. And I think what I also noticed about those meaningful connections was the fact that we don't have to speak every day, we don't have to see each other every day. These people flew all the way from, or traveled all the way from different countries to be here with her, from a different country to be here with her, and just clearing their schedule to make sure that I'm with you the whole way. And so I think that was beautiful to see, because sometimes I feel like we think that we're obligated to speak to each other every day, check on each other every day, and it's not like that, because at the end of the day, we've got things going on with each of our lives. We're in different seasons, we're going through different things, and sometimes the season of our friendship looks different, and it requires a different version of myself. And so being able to be there for her, being able to be there for your friends in general, and the people that you have connections with, and that you value, even in those times, like, look, I may not be 100% okay right now, I may not be in the space that I wish to be, but I want to be there for you in the way that I can show up for you, in the way that I know best right now. And that looks different in every season. I think it's important to extend that grace to our friends, extend that grace to the people around us, our family, to understand that, okay, you showed up anyway, despite what you're going through, you still showing up. You know what I'm saying? That leads me to my next point, which is the power of, like, people interceding for you. Like I said, when you're not able to be strong for yourself, God has placed those, it's a blessing to have God place those people in your life who can actually intercede on your behalf, and really just ask you, like, how can I help you pray? How can I be praying for you in this time? And for you to, not as an excuse for you to not actually put the work in or pray, but it's as you have a shoulder to lean on, you have a shoulder to cry on. You don't have to do this thing all by yourself, and vice versa, because in that time that they're there for you, you always remember that at a time they will need you, and you don't do it because you know that they'll need you, but you do it out of the thing of, I value you and you value me. So what is important to you is important to me, and I value your life, I value your well-being, your mental health, and your emotional well-being. And so how can I hold your hand in this time? How can I be there for you in this time? I think I just noticed like the importance of that, and just how beautiful it is to be able to be vulnerable, because I feel like we live in such a society that doesn't want to normalize actually being vulnerable, because it's seen as a weakness, when it actually is not a weakness, it's a strength. When you're able to speak about the way that you feel, when you're able to open up to the people around you, it is a beautiful thing. It's not a weakness, it's bravery, it's courageous, and so just the power of people interceding on your behalf, and you also stepping into that place of being an intercessor for the people that you also have around you in your circle and in your life, realizing that it's not always about you, it's never about you, it's also about the people around you. What do your prayers look like? What do your prayers sound like? Is it just about me? Are you putting people in your prayer? Normalize the habits of writing people down and just praying over their lives, praying over their families and all of these things, and you'll recognize that your love, that love of Christ, will abound in you, because that's what he teaches, that's what the Bible teaches, for us to love one another, and take on that burden of your neighbor as if it were your own. So yeah, and then the last thing that I want to talk about is letting go and letting God. You guys, these are short, please, I don't want to make these long, so that's why I just have 3 points today, because I feel like when I'm writing my journal, I don't necessarily, or when I used to write in my journal, I should get back to doing that, I didn't necessarily like go on a tangent, but it was just like I wrote a bit and then just closed it. It was just for that, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, last point is letting go and letting God. There is such beauty in letting go and letting God, because I feel like sometimes we get so afraid, we get caught up in fear, we get caught up in doubts, worries and anxieties about tomorrow, or about yesterday, or about the future, and it's like God has gotten under control when we surrender those things to him. And so just automatically letting go and letting God, and like I said before, not picking and choosing the things that you let go of and give to him, but actually just surrendering every single thing to him, every aspect of your life to him. Because I just feel like you generally start to see the fact that you actually don't have control, you don't have as much control as you think you do. And secondly, the fact that when you put it in God's hands, it will be taken care of, it will come under control. So yeah, just learn to let go and let God. Learning to let go and let God. I'm learning to let go and let God, because in every circumstance, like I said, it's a daily decision, it's a daily thing. Also guys, I apologize for the noise in the background, it's always something, but you know me, I'm gonna pull through regardless. But anyways, it's always a thing of it's a daily thing. It's not something of a destination, it's not something of, oh, I've gotten to the point where I want to get to. It's a daily thing until the very day that you breathe your last breath. It's a daily decision to let go and let God. And so I just think that, like, learning as well from people around you, learning as well from people in the Bible of how they surrendered certain aspects and areas of their life to God in the different seasons that they found themselves in. I think it's just so important to really just be open to that, open up your heart, and if you find that your heart is having a hard time doing that, ask God to help you to trust him more, because I feel like sometimes we feel that God does not see what's actually in our hearts, and we forget that he sees that. So it's no use for you to hold up a facade when he already sees it. So be open. If you don't believe, ask him to help you with that unbelief. If you don't trust enough, ask him to help you to trust him enough. You know what I'm saying? And he definitely will. He's very faithful, and he's not a man that he should lie. So those are the things that I'm learning, guys, that I thought I should share with you guys in this Dear Diary session. Maybe you got a point or two, got maybe a food for thoughts. Maybe you go back in your own time and think, I haven't been trusting God like that. God, please help me trust you. Or be more meaningful and what is it, be more meaningful as well as intentional when it comes to the friendships and connections around you. Whatever it is that I encourage you to do, I hope I encourage you to do it well. And may the Holy Spirit give you the grace and the power to do so, to actually execute, because sometimes we want to do these things, we talk about doing these things, we write down about doing these things, but we don't really execute. But God can give you that spirit to execute, that strength and that grace to execute, because grace is not just it is merited favor, and it is also the strength to be able to do things that draw us closer to God, the strength to be able to do things in the strength that God has given us, because in our own weaknesses, in our own strengths, we cannot do those things, but His grace is sufficient even in those weaknesses that we have as mankind. He steps in, and when divine power meets with human obedience, magic happens. Magic occurs. Not magic, we don't believe in magic, but you know what I mean. But anyways, guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this Dear Diary session. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, God willingly, I will see you. You will see me on your screen or wherever you're watching this. I love you guys so much, but most importantly, God loves you. Yeah, it's a goodbye from me. Stay blessed and stay prayed up. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, share, as well as subscribe and turn on those notification bells so you're notified every single time that I upload a new video. And until next time, God willingly, goodbye.